Hey guys, today we are going to discuss Season 8, Episode 9 of The Walking Dead. But before we get into that, I just want to say thank you, Chandler, for all the hard work you've put into The Walking Dead and for bringing Carl to life. I can't wait to see what projects you do in the future. I don't even know where to start. I'll start with this. Sunday night, I was a complete mess. I think I cried probably, I'd say 70% of the episode because holy shit, that was sad. I am not good with death on the show. Every single death has affected me, and I was really affected by Carl's death. I don't know what death was worse. I don't know if it was Lori's death or Carl's death, but those two deaths are definitely the worst deaths in the show. I cried a lot for Lori in the moment, but for Carl, I think I cried like the second that he started saying his goodbyes and stuff. I was like, I'm a mess. And that opening scene when he was playing with Judith, God, my heart can't take it. I definitely think that this was some of Chandler's best acting in the entire series. He really delivered a great performance in that last episode, and I'm definitely gonna miss him. I think he had more potential to grow and to, become more on the show. Whenever a character dies on the show, I always feel so heartbroken for the person playing that character and the people around them. Like, I feel bad for Andrew Lincoln, Danae, like all of them, Chandler, everyone, because especially when you work with someone for 8 years straight. So Chandler and Andy have literally been working together since season 1. So I can't imagine how they felt when they found out that Carl was going to die in the show. Because, again, when you work with someone for so long, they become your family, and that must have been so heartbreaking to even go through that. I'm getting emotional now thinking about having to say goodbye to someone you work with every day. It's going to be so different in season 9, and it would have been really weird for the rest of the season, to film from episode 9 to 16. That would have been really weird without Chandler. So yeah, I always feel bad for the people around them because you work with these people so much and then all of a sudden it's like they're done. I'm actually wondering when they decided to kill Carl off, because when you see the flash forwards in the first episode of season 8, you see Carl in them and you see what he... Now that we know that it's his flash forwards, we see that he saw himself in the flash forwards. And then when you see the flash forwards now, we all know he's bit and he's going to die, but when we see them now, he's taken out of them. So I'm wondering if in the beginning they didn't quite know where they were going yet, and 3/4 of the way in decided, hey, you know what, let's kill Carl. So I'm actually very curious to know what their thought process was there, and to know how they decided, yeah, Carl's a good idea to kill off on the show, because I don't think that was the plan in the beginning. Now, speaking of the flash forwards, I was a little disappointed in the way they decided to do it. Why would they pick Eugene and Jerry? Nothing against Jerry. Jerry's a cool dude. Love Jerry. But why Jerry? Why Eugene? Carl doesn't really have that close of a relationship with them. I would think he would pick I would think they would write someone more important to Carl to portray in those flash forwards. Like any of the first couple season characters, Carol, Daryl, Maggie. They were there since the beginning. Why wouldn't he want to think of them? I almost feel like they wrote Eugene in just to have something cool. Yeah, Eugene's really smart. He can make basically anything if he wants to. And I think what they did was, let's put Eugene in so that he can make baked apples and, be cool. But I feel like they could have done something cool with the other characters. Because, they've been in it since the beginning. That really bothers me. I just think it was weird writing, and they've been doing weird writing in the past couple seasons, I know, but still, you'd think, Carl's dying, he might want to think of the people he's been with since he was 10. And then the one flash forward that I didn't really want to see was Negan at the end. I was kind of taken out of the whole death, if that makes sense. See, I want to mourn the character. I don't want to really think of anything else. I want to stay with the character. I want to be with the people who care most about him. I want to be in the action of that death. I don't really want to think about anything else when it's happening. I don't want to think about the future of what's going to happen. So having Negan at the end, and I know where it's going, I know why they did it, but I still don't think it was a good move on their end. They could have put him in a little earlier, and we would have been like, what the hell? Like, why is he there? And then it would have been really sweet to see the very last flash forward as, like, the family's together. And that's what Carl thought. But they didn't do that, so... Don't get me wrong, I friggin' love Negan. I want Negan to be in the rest of the series. Like, I want him to survive as long as possible. I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan, so want to keep him around. It's just bad timing. Don't put him at the end of that. Nope. The moments that got me the most in this whole episode is when Carl had to say goodbye to his family. And it took me a good, 5 minutes to film this bit because I had to compose myself. I was gonna cry. When he said goodbye to Judith, I was such a mess. When he gives her the hat, I was glad that he gave her the hat, and the explanation that he had behind it was like, he always felt that his father was with him, and I thought that was such a beautifully written scene for Carl to say those things. And then now I'm thinking, like, when he passes it along to Judith, now she has her brother and her father with her, so she will always carry that with her. And I thought that was a beautiful moment between the two of them. And then when he's saying that him and Michonne are like best friends, I was like, what? How could this is so heartbreaking. Like, I was literally like crying my eyes out. Like, it was so sad and so sweet for Carl to say that. I feel so bad for Michonne because I feel like she's losing another son. Like, she's already lost a son, so now she's losing another one, and that sucks. So those moments were definitely the most heart-tugging moments for me. I hated the reason that he died from a walker bite, saving a random person. Now we know that Siddiq is actually a doctor. Cool. Siddiq can now save people's lives if he wanted to. Siddiq better live till the end, because killing Carl was a bad choice, and he's basically the reason Carl died. So he better stay till the end and save some people. That's all I'm saying. Now I kind of want to discuss the rest of the episode aside from what Carl was doing. Daryl, I thought, was the reason that everyone got out. But we actually see in this episode, through Morgan, that they actually just got out. They were going to get out anyway. They were going to shoot their way out. So I don't blame Daryl for letting Negan out anymore. I was so pissed that it was like Daryl's fault that everyone got out, but it wasn't, so thank God. And that actually makes Carl like an even bigger hero, because I'm like, well, Daryl just messed it up by like letting them go to Alexandria and blow it up, but it's not the case. They got out. Carl saved them anyway, and yeah, like Daryl said, Carl's a hero. Alright, so now let's talk about our badass Carol. I loved those scenes between Carol and Morgan, and it's really cool to see how far these two characters have come, because in season 6, they hated each other. Carol didn't even know Morgan, and she was like, something weird about this guy, and I mean, there was. He kept a wolf. So yeah, I love to see how their friendship, if you can call it a friendship, has blossomed. And it's really cool to see how their roles have basically switched. Now, Morgan doesn't necessarily want to kill, but is killing everyone because he's like, I have to. And he basically thinks that killing all of these saviors is going to make him feel better about the fact that they killed Ben. And Carol doesn't want to kill anymore, but will kill if she has to, even though she doesn't like it. So yeah, the roles have definitely switched. And she can see that Morgan doesn't like it. She can see right through him because she was there. She knows what he's going through. So to see her kind of like try to calm him down. It was really nice. I love that when we first see Carol and Morgan going into the kingdom and sneaking around, Gavin has no clue what is coming his way. If he knew what a Carol was and he got word that like Carol is here, he would be like fleeing the scene. He would be gone because he would be terrified that Carol would get him. I find it really interesting that kids tend to go towards Carol. Like Henry. Henry, for some reason, just like wants to be near Carol and wants to help Carol. And she's always in these predicaments with these children. Henry wants to be fighting with her, but she's like, no, stay here. And yet they do it anyways. They go off and try to help her anyways. And it always ends up bad because, you know, Henry is probably going to be a little traumatized from that for the rest of his life. And you could tell on Carol's face that she was like shocked, disappointed. And I don't think Carol necessarily feels like she is a mother to them, because I don't think she wants to be a mom again. She just wants to train them to become better at defending themselves and surviving. But you could tell that she was definitely disappointed in what Henry did. And then I'm thinking, like, if Henry wouldn't have done that, would Morgan have? Would Gavin have lived? Because Gavin didn't really want to do what he was doing. He wasn't in it, you know, for killing people or, you know, being on top. He basically had to, because that's living with Negan. You have to do what Negan says. And I could kind of tell that, you know, from the beginning of meeting Gavin, that he might not be the worst savior you could come across. But, yeah, I'm just wondering if Morgan would have done it, or if, like, Ezekiel would have talked him out of it, or if Carol would have talked him out of it. I mean, I know he was going for it, but maybe there would have been a different way. Maybe Gavin could have helped them in the long run, like, you know, take down some saviors. Who knows? But man, Negan's gonna be pissed. He lost a whole group of men there because of Carol. Again, Carol has killed a lot of his people. I'm so sad that Carol didn't get to say goodbye to Carl. Really, none of them said much to Carl on the way out, but I'm really sad that Carol didn't get to say goodbye, because she was with him before, like, Daryl was with him. So she was there since the very, very beginning with Carl in Atlanta. On the road when everyone was just like freaking out and seeing Atlanta get bombed, like, they were there together. So I hope that Carl wrote her a letter, and I'm really hoping that we see that on screen. 8 years is a long time to live in an apocalypse with someone. So I'm hoping, please, writers, please let us see Carol open a letter from Carl. I just need to see that. She's going to be so heartbroken when she finds out. And I feel like she's actually going to find out in the clip that we saw in the trailer, when she's like looking back and Daryl has his arm around her. I think that's when she finds out. So hoping that she gets a letter. Fingers crossed. So the other thing I want to talk about that is not Carol or Carl related is Rick at that very last scene when he's sitting down next to the tree. He's sitting there with blood on his hand and blood on his stomach. Now, I don't think that he got bit. It's in the same spot that Carl got bit, and they're probably just like mirroring each other. But I honestly don't think he got bit. I think it was either like a stab wound or like a gunshot, maybe another gunshot. I mean, he's already got shot like a million times, but a gunshot, who knows? I don't think it's a walker bite, so I think we're okay with Rick surviving. The music. The music that I was so looking forward to was not there. They didn't give me what I wanted with the music. I was hoping for something like bigger, something more climactic than that. But they didn't give it to us. They gave us really nice music, mind you. They gave us really beautiful piano music. The scene when Carl is talking to Michonne, that music is beautiful and it fits the scene so well. But the music at the end, I didn't think it was that amazing. it was good. Again, it was great. It was fantastic music, but it wasn't what I was hoping for. I was hoping for something much bigger than that. And I hope that the next episode, so I hope next week's episode brings us something more gut-wrenching. I want to feel the music. I want to feel the sadness in the music, and I want to feel everything. So I just don't feel like they did that with this music. So let's talk about Carl's last scene. I loved that he was the one to do it himself. And I loved his reasoning behind it, because like when he told Michonne back in season 6, like it has to be a family member to do it. And then when she's like, no, it has to be us, he's like, but I can still do it. If you turn, yes, a family member should do it, but if you don't turn, then you should do it yourself. That is so well done to me. Like, I love that philosophy of walkers and everything, and I think it's a beautiful way to think about it. The only thing that kind of sucked about that, the whole thing, was like leading up to it, it was so well paced. It was a nice slow pace to the thing. But then at the end, it's like, done, quick. All right, episode's done. And I hated that. I just wanted to like be there and mourn with them. And I really, really hope that they do that next week. I just wanted to be there and mourn with like Rick and Michonne. Like I wanted to just stay there for a moment. Give it a beat. Stop being so quick with your deaths, Walking Dead. Just hold on to them a little longer. So I just thought it was like really quick, and I really wanted to be in the moment with them a little longer. I hope that the next episode we get to grieve a little more with the characters and really get into the mourning process, because it was way too fast of a death. Yeah, we had the whole episode to kind of like mourn while he was still alive, knowing that he was going to die, but like still I want to be with the characters when they find out like Carl is officially like dead. So I'm really hoping that they do that the next episode. And like with all those letters, I hope that we get to see each character kind of like open their letter and go through that whole process of like, you know, taking it in. And I hope that next episode has the music I am looking for, that gut-wrenching music that'll bring us to tears. Even though this episode was a little flawed, I still really liked this episode. I thought it was a good farewell to Carl, even though he shouldn't have died, and it sucked that he did, but I think it was a good, like, final moments for Carl. So let me know what you guys thought of this episode in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time.